Thank you, Byron. It's always good to be back on the Hill, see old friends like Senator Dorgan. While Byron and I may be separated by political party and philosophical outlook on some issues, probably most issues, we also have a very strong bond because we're both from agricultural states where farming issues, farming itself, plays a fundamental role in their economy. Rural states like Arkansas and North Dakota are still waiting for the benefits of an economy that's increasingly focused on the flow of information. In this day and age, when wireless technology should bring high-speed broadband to every corner of America, there are still large pockets of our nation that don't have dependable connectivity. Here in Washington, other big metropolitan areas like Philadelphia, we take for granted that almost anywhere and everywhere we go, we'll be able to access the internet, we'll be able to talk on the phone. I remember when I was in the Senate, I used to get annoyed because of one dead spot in the tunnel between the Capitol and the Senate office buildings, where I could count on my calls getting dropped. I hope they fix that problem. I think they probably have fixed that problem, but at the same time, I'm chagrined to think that my personal pet peeves are so much smaller than when you think about the bigger problems with wireless access in the nation. I looked up some statistics last week that showed that my home state of Arkansas, and Byron, you grew up in a town of 300. I grew up on a farm outside a town of 800, and that is so characteristic of these rural states. Well, Arkansas ranks 40th in the nation when it comes to broadband and 38th when it comes to wireless broadband, according to the FCC. And there was a survey a couple of years ago of Arkansas voters, which found that 51% didn't have broadband, 29% had never used broadband. Unfortunately, that data is consistent with much of rural America. Up to 1/3 of rural Americans don't have access to broadband. That's a huge concern for me as I think about rural America's ability to compete in the 21st century. If a company is choosing to relocate between two towns and one has high-speed broadband and robust wireless service and one does not, I don't need to tell you which town is going to win that competition. And that same competitive dynamic plays out on a global level. As we were told, America ranks 18th in the world when it comes to broadband. That's not acceptable in a hyper-competitive global economy. Now, I'm a conservative Republican, and that means that when I see a problem like this, I don't rush to look to government to come to the rescue. In fact, when it comes to Light Squared, maybe government needs to do just what has been suggested today, and that is get out of the way. This is a company that wants to invest $14 billion in our nation's infrastructure. When private industry is making that kind of commitment, government should do everything possible to cut through the red tape and make sure that it does not unnecessarily hinder that kind of investment. Americans need the new wireless network that Light Squared is planning to build. It will mean more competition, more jobs, and more innovation. Now, Arkansas farmers depend upon precision agriculture. It saves them time. It saves them money. It's more effective. And we know that this GPS interference issue has to be solved. We all know that. But I'm told that some pretty sophisticated testing is proving that the interference issue is, if not solved, very, very solvable. If Light Squared is willing to fix technical problems that are not of their own making, then the federal government should do its best to ensure that the American public gets the benefits of that investment that Light Squared is prepared to make. So now let me introduce Steve Berry with the Rural Cellular Association. Steve.